big changes potentially coming for Alliance War, and what will Boundless do to fix this Iso-8 mess? Talking about that with my buddy Philosopher, along with President Loki, Infinity Watch, June's Blitz schedule, and a lot more on your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. If you're ready for it, guys, find that like button and let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
Hey guys, ValleyFlyin here. I am joined by Philosopher for your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. What is up, brother Philosopher? How have you been, man?
Doing well. You know, I finally got a new home for me and my fiance. So
nice.
Doing all that, you know, that has been a pain, but you know, looking forward to finally getting settled down. And hey, enjoying Marvel Strike Force in the meantime. But I'll tell you, I don't think I'm alone in being a little concerned about the direction they're taking this game.
Yeah, well, there was some positive messages from Cerebro in the private server, but we'll see what comes with that. Now, before we begin, I do want to ask you a question. Actually, I have a question from one of the new Infinity Watch members here. It is from Gamora, and it is a question about Boundless, and she asked,
"Who put the sticks up their butts?"
What?
Who did put the sticks up their butts? What is going on with this game? What is going on with the direction of this game and Iso-8?
Yeah, I got to tell you, here's what I think happened with Iso-8, man. I think they put a lot of effort into it, a lot of time into it, and people were not buying it as much as they wanted us to buy it. And so they're basically forcing it on you. It's like, I got to tell you, man, I've been farming this blue ISO even from the Doom raids, from the new one. And I put on my characters, they don't feel any different to me. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but of course they're going to require it for stuff. So of course you're putting all this effort into it. I don't think it feels good. I think it's a money grab. That's what I think.
I totally agree with you. It was a fun way that we could change up our characters, get some agency with our characters, make some fun little stat changes with those different Iso-8 classes, and it was fun before. I could experiment. Now that is forced, I'm in very short supply of my ions, my Iso-8 crystals, everything just changed about that with this with these Doom Raid announcements. So there's hopefully some changes coming to Iso-8. And if you guys haven't been watching what is happening in Marvel Strike Force for a while, Iso-8 now required on the Doom Raids as of this update, which doesn't feel good. Now you're in an alliance that I mean, I know you had a lot of ISO class 5 on your character, so I know you weren't personally affected. You're one of the top alliances in the game. I think you're the number 2 in alliance in the game, right? As far as total collection power.
Yeah, that's right.
And how has it affected you guys as the number 2 alliance? Are you guys back to 100%ing the Doom Raids, or are you guys still feeling the effects of these changes?
Yeah, it hasn't impacted us as much. I mean, we can 100% the base difficulty. We've moved to the difficulty 1, and we do about 90% there. But I mean, I am the exception. I mean, I'm in this alliance with people who have spent a fortune on this game and are all a bunch of Krakens. You know, that is like, you know, if they're going to make a game for this group of people, it's like they're going to have 500 people playing the game. They need to have something that works for everybody here. And there's what I feel the worst about are the alliances that were just starting to get into the Doom Raid, and they finally got to 30%. I had this strategy I was pushing where you send everyone down the middle lanes to try to, you know. And then now it's basically they've made it so it's a complete obstacle for them. It just feels bad.
Yeah, it's like, we figured out how to maximize our milestones for Silver Surfer. We're figuring out how to get a little further into Doom Raids, and then Boundless is like, no, that's not the way you're supposed to play it. We want you to play it like this, so let's put these restrictions on it. So you have to play the way that we wanted you to play it instead of this new fun way that can maximize some benefits. Now, there was some changes that were mentioned that could possibly coming in a private server of the Envoy, or the private channel of the Envoy server. So, you know, because it was on private server, we can't really talk about that. But what do you expect as far as a long-term solution for this? What do you think would be the best solution, and what do you expect Boundless is actually going to go with as far as fixing their mess that they've created?
Yeah, the best solution is for them to do what they frankly have done well in the past, which is create things that are so awesome that people want to spend money on them or whatever. If they want to make money, just make ISO super awesome. And then everyone's going to be like, okay, I can't wait. I just need to get this ISO. It's irresistible, right? And they haven't done that. And so I think that would do it, right? People are all excited about Infinity Watch or whatever the new hot thing is. But what they're going to do, I suspect, is do some compromise with us, whether it's, I mean, to me, a reasonable compromise, although I don't think it's the best solution, would be to say, okay, the base difficulty without the difficulty sliders is you have no ISO requirement, and then it goes up from there. But
yeah,
then at least you could start getting some blue ISO and you feel some rewards while you're doing it. But I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I'm worried that it's going to be even worse than that.
Man, I was a little inspired by some of the comments Cerebro made on the private server, but he didn't make a public statement on Reddit last week, and this was the answer as to why he was not communicating. Him and Zeeks have not been communicating recently. The answer is simple: Zeeks and I have been advocating hard for the players to the team. Your voices have not been heard as loudly as they should. We are spending a lot of time to ensure the team has the full picture of the impact of their decisions. We have some big meetings coming up with studio leadership, and that we have to prepare for. I'll give you my assurance. We'll communicate more often. And again, we have something worth reporting. Kind of the standard communication that he has sent in the past. I felt that some of the private communication was a little different, had a little different tone than we've seen in the past, though. What did you make of this? And obviously, 4 days ago, I was a little more excited than I am now. We're a few days after this and still haven't heard anything publicly about what's going on. What did you make of this when you first saw this? And now 4 days later, what do you still feel the same way?
Yeah, look, Cerebro is a marketing a PR guy, right? Essentially, his job is to talk to us and communicate with us and whatever. And I think he realizes that everyone's pissed off, and I think he's got he's adopting, I think, the right tone with that. What I wonder is just how important he is within this Boundless Scopely, I don't know what to call him nowadays, operation. Like, is he just some guy? I mean, he seems to me like he's not like near the top of the totem pole. And there's some guys with calculators and spreadsheets that are figuring out how much money they make. And ultimately, like, if Cerebro is saying everyone's really pissed off, you're going to lose money because people will leave. Like, maybe they'll be interested, but maybe they're going to look at their spreadsheet and say, hey, we're going to make 5% more, this quarter or whatever. And that's what I worry about. I mean, we don't have a lot of transparency, what's going on and what are the real considerations here. It's purposely a black box, and that's I think frustrating.
Yeah, you know what worries me? Those people with the spreadsheets and the calculators. I don't think those people that are the upper levels, I don't think they play this game at all. I think it's us. I think it's Cerebro. There's other people probably in that Boundless studio that play this game. And maybe some of them play at a high level and are very competitive, but I don't think the ultimate decision makers I think they're just looking at numbers and stats and analytics, and I don't think they're looking at the true impact of a lot of the decisions. Did you get that feel? Did you feel the same way with some of the communication we're getting, or is that am I alone in that assumption?
No, I think you're right, man. And the more, look, over the past few months, look, I played this game. I've been playing for about 16 months. I played the first year or so with no contact with the devs. And then over the last 4 months, with DD4 and more content, I've had some contact with them. And I think a lot of them have no clue. Like I was explaining to a dev at one point, about how the matchmaking system screwed up for war. And he seemed genuinely surprised. Like I was telling him something new. Like this is a hobby I do on the side. I have a real job. And this guy is like, his job is to focus on this game. And you don't know what I'm telling you about this. Like, he was like shocked.
Oh man. I think I may have been too optimistic then. Maybe there's none of them that really play at high level, and they're just playing on the like a test type server and trying out characters, but not having the full interaction of farming these characters, all the little details that go into this game. And I don't know if they don't know what's going on in war matchmaking, that gives me a little hope that they know what's going on at high levels of the community, which is why the salt that we've been putting out in our videos has been appropriate, because if they don't know what's going on, if it's just standard operating procedure for us and they're like, oh, things are fine, I don't think they're obligated to feel that they need to make these changes. So I think the salt is appropriate if they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I gotta say, look, I had some comments on my YouTube channel recently where people are like, you've gotten a lot saltier lately. Your attitude's changed. And I gotta tell you, certainly I've got a lot of stress in my life for different things, but really it's about, I think there's been a change in what they're doing with the game. When I look back at the last 16 months that I've been playing this game, for a while, it's like, okay, they introduced Black Order. That was a big change. But then for a year, kind of the arena meta was what it was. There were new characters released. Some of them were good. Some of them weren't as good. But they were, whatever they were, whether it's She-Hulk or Zemo or the PIM team or the X-Force, they were all reasonable teams. But, you never felt like everything was getting power crept so quickly, making everything else irrelevant. The requirements were ratcheting up through the roof so quickly. It just feels to me like they're transforming the game very, very quickly, and they don't really care about what the player base thinks about that.
Yeah, I've felt the same way ever since the real-time arena and that battle pass was released. This game has felt very different for me, and I've been waiting for some changes to happen and hoping that certain changes would happen, and not really. Even going back to the early 2021 roadmap, most of those are focused on monetization decisions and not really about, how can we add fun? So I think the salt is appropriate. When we're having fun, we make fun videos, and when we're not having fun and we want some change implemented by Scopely, Boundless, then that's the type of videos we're gonna make, because that is what they said. They want the feedback from the community, because they throw stuff out there. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss. I feel like they've missed a lot recently, and hopefully our noise, our salt is helping the game to improve on another level. Any other changes you feel that need to be made, or you feel would be coming to Iso-8 before we move on to some other aspects of the game that I do want to discuss?
Yeah, I got to tell you, ISO, the one thing I did like about Green ISO, and I know you feel the same way, is that we liked that it was farmable and it was something that you felt like you had control over. We all wish we had more cores to refresh the energies and all that, but at least you could farm what you need. With Blue ISO, it's really stingy how much they give out for these raid orbs and stuff. And it just feels to me like for most players who are trying to just get started in the Doom raid, this is going to be such a grind. And I don't know. It feels bad to me.
Well, our alliance has been doing the Doom raids for about a week now, or the new Doom raids with the blue ISOs, and I have not even got, because of the orbs, I've been getting all the same things, so I haven't even been able to upgrade one character because it's all like the damaged part, and I'm not getting the full stuff. There's not as much choice as we had in Iso-8 Green, where you could farm certain nodes for certain pieces. It's just random. So I don't know how long it's going to take to even get one character up to Iso-8 Blue level 1 for me. Just the RNG, I agree, is very, very bad. But let's move on to a bug that I don't know what's happening with. It is a Stark Tech bug, and it may be a visual bug. It may be related to Stark Tech. It may be related to Iso-8. This is something that we have not heard a lot of communication on. And if you look at the attack history here, you see the Ebony Maw 151 on attack 4, and attack 5 it goes down to 139k, I believe. But a lot of examples about this, especially in DD4 and War. What are you experiencing? Are you noticing a drop in your power level? Do you think this is visual as far as these bugs, or are you unaffected?
I do think it's visual. I've actually been talking. A lot of players have raised this issue with me, and there was some guy who did compared his damage from before to after, and it was the same. So I hope that's the case. I will say it would be nice if we had a patch that didn't introduce 100 bugs. It feels to me, as somebody's played a lot of games over 20 plus years, this seems like a really buggy game compared to most. So it would be nice if we didn't have to talk about that on every weekly video.
It's a very fragile framework, brother. It's a very old framework that they don't want to update because I guess they're too busy counting the 300 million from last year. They can't bother to update their framework.
Exactly.
But yeah, so hopefully it's visual. I mean, I'm getting conflicting reports, so I'm not sure, but I hope it's visual. But and I hope we get more clarity from the devs about this, because Iso-8's not the only issue. It seems like that's the only thing that they're focusing on, but there's other issues that are going on in the game, other bugs that we want them to fix. I don't think this is really a bug as far as the real-time arena, but where is this? Where did real-time arena go? We normally get this back to back. Sometimes there's a couple days delay, and it's not like I'm really loving this game mode, but I do like some of the rewards in the battle pass. When do you think we're getting the next real-time arena?
Yeah, well, looked at maybe in 2 days, 6 hours, right from then. I will just say it's a longer break.
It's on there. Oh yeah, you're right. It's on there.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a break. Yeah, it's a little bit of a break, more of a break than usual. I've kind of enjoyed the break to an extent. It's actually been nice. Like, you know, when I was done with my raid lane or whatever, I didn't have anything I had to do. So I kind of liked that. I will tell you, as somebody, I loved that PvP system when it first came out and they had the drafts and I did little tournaments and stuff. Yeah. And then, man, what RTA turned into is just like a grind fest, you know, just snooze fest, or you're just pressing auto, or just, you know, doing it to get your objectives for the day. So I'm not missing it, but you know, I'm hoping that they're doing this to change it around. They have made it better. I mean, remember when we had to do like, you know, you needed 50 abilities used by Jessica Jones or something, and so or whatever.
Oh, yes. Yes, it was way worse in the past. Now that you remind me, yeah, it was bad. And then I did like the fact that there was a lot more of the weekly objectives, so you could do a lot on Saturdays, Sundays, and then not have to grind as much during the week. That is a change that I don't think was positive. But do you think they're taking a while because of they're trying to make some changes in, maybe implement more rewards, hopefully Iso-8? Why do you think that, or they're just I don't know, what do you think is causing this delay for them to delay this for a week?
Yeah, here's what I think. I think these guys put a lot of resources, in other words, people hours, into RTA and previously versus PvP, which they thought we would like more than we did. And they put a ton of effort into Iso-8, because like red stars are easy, right? Like all you had to do is just say, okay, 10% more damage or whatever. Like it was probably like they just added a few lines of code and the red stars are in there. Whereas with the Iso-8, that took a lot of play testing and work and balancing and, you know, conception and all this stuff. So I think they put a lot of resources into this, and they're trying to figure out like, what do they do with these systems? And so they came up with RTA. I think they've been trying to over and over again make it a little bit better. I've received, I don't know if other people have surveys like in game, like, what do you think of RTA? Answer the survey and we'll send you a premium orb or something, a gold orb, I don't remember. I think that they're trying to do stuff to make it less bad, and I think that's how I would call it, right? It's like it sucked so bad in the beginning, so now it sucks less, and then I think that's the same thing with Iso-8, right? They're just trying to find a way to make it more monetizable for them.
Why don't Boundless focus on more fun instead of more monetization? I know monetization is important, but I think the monetization will come with the fun. But that's just me. I'm not a game developer. That's just my thoughts as a player. But what do you think this mode can be fixed? Do you think real-time arena can be salvaged into a fun game mode for that majority of the players? Because I was in the minority like you. I enjoyed the balanced PvP. Those drafts I think were fun, but apparently 2/3 of the community didn't like that. But now we got a game mode that 100% of the community doesn't like. Should this be scrapped, even though there's a bunch of man hours that went into this, and just get a new game mode, or is this fixable at this point?
You know what I would do is, first of all, I'd have two different modes: casual and like ranking or something or whatever. So, you know, if you just want to get your two objectives done and both sides are going to auto, they can. Yeah. And then there'd be another thing where it's like, okay, I'm trying to get up a rank or an elo or some sort of thing where it's like, hey, I'm climbing up a ladder of some kind, and you can compete to see that you get a little bit better. And I think, you know, and there'd be some rewards associated with that, and maybe, you know, a limited amount of tax per day or something like that. So you're just not constantly, you know, feel like you have to spam it to keep your rank or something like that. But that would be more fun to me.
I think that would add a little bit of fun as well, because a lot of people just go through it, auto it, And there's other people that want to play it, like Infinity Watch. I want to test out these characters. And the best place to do that is RTA. So I think that would switch things up a little bit. I know one of the suggestions was tying Battle Pass to other game modes. As soon as that Strike Pass came out, that kind of went out the window though. So that could be a good solution. So hopefully Boundless has the resources to improve multiple things at once instead of just focusing on this Iso-8. But let's move on to the Infinity Watch, because you got a pretty strong Infinity Watch. You got them pretty beefy, and you got the 4-person team. So as this 4-person team with the Infinity Watch, how good are they right now? What are they able to do for you in the game that you weren't able to do before?
Well, one thing I will tell you is that 4-person Infinity Watch team, and I still don't have any red stars on Moondragon, obviously. Yes. And, I'm low on stars on Phyla-Vell. It's not like these are all 7-star characters. I'm taking him into arena and occasionally winning on these punch-ups and, at least being competitive. So I'll just say that. And then in raids, I did a video on my channel where I showed them in 4.3. In the Greek raid, just showing, because you could have the whole team together there, whereas in the Doom raid they're all in different things. And some of my alliance mates are using Gamora, using Moondragon, etc. in the raid. So I think if you're a free to play player, you're going to get the Moondragon and Phyla-Vell to maybe 4 stars from the events, and the other 2 are farmable. I mean, even without Adam Warlock, that's a reasonable team to build up, and I think they could do some good things for you.
And who's your favorite 5th that you've been using as to complete the team in some of these game modes, particularly
I think so.
Greek raids, excuse me.
Yeah, I do think that they really need another cleanse, because if Phyla-Vell doesn't have her cooldown up, they can get stuck with debuffs and things like that. So I've sometimes been running them with Emma. Okay. And then sometimes, if I will say in arena, I've been running them with either Kestrel or Surfer, just because you're facing a Doom. But I could imagine, even after the Adam Warlock event a few months from now, a free to play player, runs those 4 with whoever they have, right? Whether it's Surfer or Kestrel or something, and you could do reasonably well in arena with that team.
Do you think this team is going to be arena relevant for players that don't get Adam Warlock? Are they that strong? Maybe using that Kestrel or Silver Surfer and just dominating arena like that?
Yeah, I think you'll do well. I mean, you're not going to do as well as the players that have Adam Warlock. I mean, let's be realistic, but I think it may be a more viable option than just having a soup of characters. I think I'm not, once we see them all similarly geared and T4 and start up, right? My team is lacking a lot of T4s as well. So I think they're at least competitive. And so that tells me that this could be a useful team for people. More or less viable than some of the metas that we're seeing in the arena right now, like Doom, Surfer, Kestrel, maybe Dad Bros, maybe Zemo, Emma. Do you think this, as a 4-piece, this team can compete with some of the arena meta right now? Yeah, I think so. I mean, now, because and I'm saying that because of how I'm doing with a team that is lacking a lot of their T4s and stars and stuff, where I'm going up against somebody 7 red star, Kestrel, all T4'd out. So I think it's definitely possible. And I think the nice thing about this team is 2 of them are farmable. The other 2, they're going to have an event where you'll get them to probably 4 stars. And they are, you can use them in different places. You could have, for example, Gamora in the skill lane or something. Whereas Black Order, you kind of had to have the whole team, or they only had only 1 or 2 of them really had some use elsewhere.
Yeah, I think they looked at what happened with Thanos and like, we want to be able to give them some agency and using in other game modes and using other combinations. And I do like what they did with that charge on Gamora, where you still can get her that empowered Gamora even without a full Infinity Watch team. So I do like that. You got some options there. Let me talk about Moondragon, this 3-tiered release, because as a lot of players know, as a lot of players were confused by when they first saw this, Moondragon shards 800 cores for 10 of the Moondragon shards, and then she's going to have a normal release coming tomorrow, actually, and a lot of the community missed this. If you go down all the way to the bottom, and this may be expiring soon, but we have the Phyla-Vell explodes into battle. talks about the release dates there. So June 10th, her offer is going to be available. So that's tomorrow. So you'll finally be able to get some red stars on Phyla-Vell. And then we have this Show Your Colors event starting on June 17th for Moondragon. Then Phyla-Vell has an event starting today that we're going to talk about in just a little bit. But this is the first time they've done this as far as this 3-tiered system, the pre-release, the release, and then the event. What did you think of this as someone that does have Moondragon?
Yeah, I thought it was awful. I mean, first of all, the value on it is awful. You know, I'm sure we both are fans of Mobile Gamer. When you watch his offer reviews, he's like trash. I mean, he'll say 50 shards for $30 is trash. This is like $100 for 100 shards. You know, essentially $50 for 50 shards. It's total trash. And it's really basically getting Krakens to pay a lot of money to have a 1 week advantage. So in my alliance, there was a pressure we were going to have a war against Legion. Like let's get our Moondragon, and for crap's sake, fine. I'll get the Moondragon, and I'll do a stream about it. I could justify it to myself because at least I could put it on my YouTube. But it's just, I think it's so silly.
Hold on. Are you saying that even if you were not a content creator, you probably still would have gotten these offers and unlocked Moondragon?
It took all. I think it took both. Like it took the alliance plus that. I think pure content creation, I would have said no, and I think the alliance, I would have said, "Come on, guys, give me a break. I'll get it in a week." But there, the combination wore me down. It felt bad. The whole thing seems stupid. So it's just another way they're going to make a little extra money, right?
So if you look at what this replaced, though, this replaced absolute crap in the store, because what was here before in this section was these fully crafted pieces that I don't know if anybody ever purchased this on purpose, except if you're a newer player, didn't really know the value, or if you accidentally purchased it. But that's what it's replacing. So I guess it's better, right? Or is this or would you prefer that crap piece of gear or this release method?
It's like what we were talking about with RTA, making it suck less, right? It's like those pieces before were literally like a trap, right? The only time you would ever buy them is if your finger hit the wrong thing and you're like, no, you're like Darth Vader. No, you spent 1,800 cores on some piece of purple gear. I don't know. I mean, those pieces should have never been there. This should be out of the game. I mean, make this game more reasonable in terms of pricing. Jesus.
I don't know. They got to do something with this slot now that they've made. I mean, I would have thought they'd put more orange gear or something, but I guess they're putting more offers and trying to get people to spend their cores.
Exactly.
All right, so Moondragon, her running mate Phyla-Vell, has an event starting today. The Vote for Loki Mischief event, the campaign Mischief. All right. So this is where we're getting our first signs of relief from this Iso-8 and these ions and this crunch. We're getting a bunch of things in this. We got some calendars. We're getting, it looks like we're getting 60 controller Iso-8 crystals for each attribute. And I guess that's probably for the life of the event. Doing that on a daily basis would be way too generous for Boundless, excuse me. But
I kind of like
Boundly. That's But I mean, what do you think of this as a release method for characters? I mean, this is usually a pretty friendly release method. I mean, we've had Anti-Venom released this way, Moon Knight, Red Guardian released this way. Most of the time, people end up with pretty good shards, right? Do you like this as a release method for characters?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I love the regular campaigns for the Phyla-Vell. Those are my favorite because I feel like, for example, when Kestrel, they did that, everybody was getting her to 4 stars, and there were free-to-play players who were pushing hard and getting her to 5 and some even to 6 stars, partly with luck and partly because they had saved up so many cores. They were the real hoarder type players, but good for them, in terms of the event energy. I really feel like it gives control to the player. And I think that it feels good, and you feel like you have control over how high or how hard you want to push on, in this case, Phyla-Vell. The other one I think is fine too. It's probably the second best release method. I think all of those are better than Blitz, which is better than that battle or the battle pass or whatever.
The Silver Surfer and Polaris release method. Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, but talking about this event here, it is starting in just a few hours as we're recording this. It comes with a costume, President Loki. Do you? I know I talked to you in the past. You weren't a big fan of these costumes because for whatever reason. Are you gonna go push hard for this Loki costume here?
So I'm warming up to the costumes. And here's why. Well, first of all, on the Iceman one, I actually pushed it. I don't usually do 5 arena attacks a day, but I did to get the Iceman costume because I think he looks really lame without the costume. He looks way better with the costume.
Iceman was bald when I was growing up. Why does he have spiky hair in his costume?
Yeah, it's a little weird. And then I like this President Loki costume, so I'll make sure I get it because I think it looks cool. Like, it's hilarious. I think they have him with, like, it almost looks like it's modeled off of maybe a Trump's or something's presidential campaign. You can see the posters. They purposely kind of mimic the signage. It's really good, and so I think it's hilarious and stuff. I mean, I don't really use Loki all that much anymore, but it's like a fun idea.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a good replacement on that Hella Natural team instead of Scarlet Witch. So sometimes I don't know if you still use that team, but I do once in a while. But yeah, I like this one, and I like their string of these costumes because Iceman, he's usable. Black Widow, I use her sometimes as well, so I'm going to be able to enjoy that white costume that's used in for the movie. And Loki, I like this costume. Very, very iconic from what I've seen from the trailers here. And we're going to talk about the series in a little bit. But as far as this event is concerned, do you think these ions offer enough temporary relief for players right now, these ions and these Iso-8s offered in this, or is this not enough? Do they need to do more to fix some of their negative decisions that they made?
No, I really had a very negative reaction to that stuff because they're making a big long-term change and they're giving you some short-term relief. So I tell you, I'm going to raise your rent by $500 a month, but here's $100 bonus. Here's $100 back, right? I'm going to give you $100 now to help you on your first month's of rent, but I got to live there the rest of the year and pay an extra $500 a month, right? So to me, like, it's not nearly enough to make a dent. I mean, if they made enough where you could get all your raid teams up, or at least get part of your raid teams up, that'd be one thing. But this is enough for maybe to help one with one character. I don't see it.
Yeah, and we need way more than one. So yeah, I hope they look back into some of the decisions. I hope they listen to Salvageable, and I hope they give us more permanent changes, or just scale back the requirements that they've done. They dropped this on us without offering relief in the future or in the past, and so that we could have some time to plan. They just kind of dropped this all on us. So hopefully there's more relief coming for this. But talking about the Infinity Watch and the things coming up, one of the big questions that the players have is about this team that you need to get the Adam Warlock. It's this team right here, the X Factor, along with Jubilee. We do know her event is coming back before the Adam Warlock, and I got a prediction for that based on some of the stuff that I saw and just the dates in this patch. But X Factor, long shot in the war store, but nothing. I mean, we've seen data mines for Polaris and multiple man as far as campaign nodes, nothing yet for Shatterstar. What are your predictions on what is going to happen for this team as far as farmability? And do you think it's going to any of this is going to happen before that Adam Warlock first legendary event?
So I think Shatterstar is going to go, and people are going to hate this news. It's a prediction, not me telling you. I'm not the decision maker, but I think he's going to go into that arena orb where Scream is. I hate everyone hates those orbs, but I think the reality is that he was the Battle Pass character, and before that it was Scream, I think, right? Or it was
Red Guardian moved in before Red Guardian was Scream. So both of those characters ended up in the arena store. So very, very likely.
Yeah, so that crappy arena orb looks like it's the home for Shatterstar. Multiple Man and Polaris, I think, are going to nodes based on the data mines. But what I expect to happen, and what I'm basing this on, Valley, is what they did with the Black Bolt event right before Maw. Is I think they're going to make these guys farmable like right beforehand, right? Like just
1 week or something. I don't think that's I mean, that's better than nothing. And you got to ask yourself, should everybody have access to these legendary characters that need to feel a little special, right? So if everybody is unlocking them, then what is that? But so the first iteration, I don't mind if not everybody unlocks them, but by the second iteration, I feel everybody should have access if they've been playing for a while and grinding hard. Let me circle back to that arena orb, though. It may not be a bad thing, and I think everybody's expecting the worst. And given the history of Scopely and Boundless, I think that is proper, and it's the likely scenario. But let me offer you this. I was hoping that it would be a 1-to-1. So when Red Guardian when Scream gets out of the arena orb, it'll be replaced by someone, potentially Shatterstar. But then Scream's gonna get out. Scream is the increased cost. Red Guardian immediately goes to that reduced cost. And if that is the case, I don't think those arena orbs and that cadence is bad. Now, will Boundless Scopely do that? I don't know. They may keep that increased cost for a while. They may keep more than one character in that arena orb. If they did that and exchange it for a 1-to-1, that'll be getting characters through that cadence a little quicker. Do you think that would be a positive thing if they did that?
Yeah, I think they're going to do it the way you said. And I don't think it's all that awful. Now, what it's going to mean, though, is if you're in a time crunch where you need Adam Warlock and your Shatterstar is not up, you're going to have to open those orbs. But if you're willing to wait, you'll be fine. I think for players who've been playing a long time and go hard on things, it won't be that bad because Shatterstar was one of those event release characters. So if you're free to play, he's probably the character you have the highest of this crew. It's the problems for you is going to be long shot. And I'm not surprised they're gating him because the character is a little OP, even after 6 months. So, I think, it is what it is. But I do think that the arena store, it won't be that bad. I think the problem is, Valley, is that people don't want to open any of those orbs because they want to save their currency for when the characters get more reasonably priced, which I understand.
Yeah, you know what I wish would have been an ideal scenario? They kept the Kingpin orbs in there and just change the name to Arena Orb, replace Kingpin with one character, and that is what we get. And then we're not getting the rest of these other characters that we don't want. It's only the featured character. But of course, it's not my game. It's the Boundless game, and they did it the way they did it and put every single character in there, and it's just not. It's not as valuable, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully they become farmable very soon, so players can unlock Adam Warlock. But let's talk about these health steal changes. It doesn't look like anything is changed right now, except for the text, because it seems like the way that health steal worked for these characters, and they're listed here: Minerva, Dark Phoenix, Ebony Maw, Yellow Jacket, Ghost. It was avoiding death proof, so you could go right through death proof, and characters like Black Bolt, where his passive would not activate with this when health steal drop a character below 50% or below that into that red, 25% I think is the threshold. It was not activating, and now they're changing the passive to say, all right, it's not going to activate. So instead of doing, I don't know if that was the original intent, but what do you think of these changes? Future characters, they're not going to avoid the death proof, and they will activate passives, but all these current characters are just leaving that as it is and changing text. Do you feel this is positive, negative, or pretty neutral as far as a change?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. Okay, so first of all, one thing that they aren't doing is nerfing the current characters. Look, yes. I've been in games where things get nerfed, and it really feels bad to level up your, you level up your Warlock and spend 3 months leveling up your Warlock, and then they nerf it, and then your Warlock sucks, and you got to start over with Priest or something, right? So
you weren't here in year one. They did a lot.
Oh, they did. Well, since I've been playing, they don't do that. Thank goodness. Okay, so because that would really suck. Like you go hard on for Adam Warlock, and they're like, you know what? We changed our minds. He sucks now. Okay, so that would be bad. So I like that they're not nerfing the characters. I also like transparency. Here's what I mean by it. I already knew everything in this. Like I knew that they don't trigger when they drop below a certain health, and it would be like this pro move you do, right, where you'd use the Maw ultimate to get Doom under 50%, so it wouldn't trigger the additional turn meter and ability energy. And it's great that I knew that, but it's for a newer player. It's good that they can just read it and see it for themselves. And so I think that's right. And then I also think that making it so that health steal is less crazy means they can do more of it.
Yeah, I mean, it only took them a year to address this. I mean, a year and a half, excuse me, to address this. So I'm glad they finally putting this into text. So people that aren't in the know, they look at the game like, oh, it's working like it's supposed to. It's not broken. I'm not supposed to get the burp from Black Bolt. It's working like this. So it took them time. It took them a while, but I'm glad they finally did that. Other thing that we got in this blog post was something that was data mined previously, these origin challenges. And I think this is a good thing. Give us more gear and things like this. The only issue I have is it looks like not only with the Doom raids, not only with this mythic legendary event and possibly all the legendary events going forward, but now we have more ISO-8 requirements, which kind of puts a strain on the ISO-8 and puts more of a crunch on the freedom that we have to switch up things in ISO-8. What is your reaction to this? Is it just about these gear challenges and you're building up these characters for Doom anyway? Or would you have liked to see this eliminated, these ISO-8 requirements?
Look, obviously, we'd all love everything for free, but this is the sort of thing Scopely should be doing to get us to do ISO up. In other words, okay, we're going to give you some rewards if you ISO up a team that is mutant or bio or whatever. Yeah. I think that's totally reasonable. You don't have to. You can just ignore it and you're no worse off than you were before. But if you want some extra stuff, you can work up your full bio team to 3 or 4 or 5. I think that's reasonable. If they did that and they didn't do this requirement for the raids, we wouldn't be talking about it. We'd be like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it's chasing new requirements for new content never feels bad, but chasing new requirements for old content, previous content, that always feels bad. So I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they're thinking with the Doom raid requirements. I mean, in their minds, maybe they were like, oh, that was First Strike. This is new content. This is a totally new Doom raid because it doesn't have that First Strike tag. But yeah, I think this is generally positive. I just feel that this is a crunch going forward, and as long as they increase the ions, or change the entire economy and taking a look at that, because I haven't really delved into the ISO-8 blue, but it doesn't look very player friendly. It looks super grindy, no control over that. But yeah, for ISO-8 green, I kind of like this as far as that. Now, the other thing, and Jubilee, this is the big question that people had. When is Jubilee coming? There's no date on here in the blog post. I thought they would give us a date here. Pretty much everything else we knew. She's coming back sometime before the Adam Warlock event. But the interesting thing here is that we got a calendar from our Australia brethren that get everything a little early because they have a different time that their time changes over. So we already got the Pimtech in the inbox for our Australia friends. So as far as date, it looks like it is coming on the 14th, would be my guess, based on this calendar, based on the dates of this patch, and based on the date that they need to get Adam Warlock out before the next patch arrives. So, what do you think of this Jubilee event? In time, should they have announced a date on this on the blog post last week?
Obviously, one thing that they've done that's really frustrating to me, Valley, is they used to keep basically a schedule. They called it a cadence. I don't even know what that means, but a schedule essentially of when they had these legendary events. And so on a lot of Discords, you could just go and look at the schedule and you would know, okay, Black Bolt's coming in 2 months. So I've got to farm up my Asgardians for Black Bolt or whatever. That gave players some ability to plan. And I got to tell you what I think they're doing, Valley, is they're trying to eliminate your ability to sort of plan and store up and hoard up, because that hurts their profit line. So I think this mystery is really unnecessary, and I think the mystery around the date, I think it's just anti-player.
It's a very, very frustration marketing oriented, not giving the players enough time, not giving them enough advance notice. 2020, I gotta say, 2020, they followed their cadence pretty well right up until December. 2021's been all over the place with their legendary events, so no really way to plan. All the people that used to make these predictors and those dates, gone, because they're changing the cadence. I mean, Jubilee should have come back before Doc Ock, but Doc Ock came back before that, and I guess for some people that was good because it gave them more time for Jubilee. Other people that were planning for Doc Ock and didn't get Doc Ock to that next star because he came back a little earlier, it kind of sucked for them. So yes, I agree. I liked when we had a cadence. I like that predictability. I don't like this now, but I guess it's making them more money. But we'll see what happens in the future with this. All right, we did get some dates though. We did get some dates, not from the Scopely themselves, but from Marvel.com. This was posted on the 7th, so a few days ago. We got pretty much the full Blitz schedule. So we going back to the American Chavez Blitz. We knew about the Negasonic login calendar. The Iceman costume event just ended. Phyla-Vell event is starting today, and then We have a Colleen and Misty also during this month. The Blitzes, Misty's Blitz is coming up this week. But next week, we have Shatterstar, Mystique as the Blitzes. We have a Moondragon Pride event that's coming next week as well, which we talked about with that. And then we have an Iceman Blitz. So we currently have Anti-Venom. We had Colleen Wing, Misty Knight. We're getting a Shatterstar Blitz. We're getting an Iceman Blitz. What do you think of this Blitz schedule for June? Some decently positive in my opinion. But what is your opinion about this Blitz schedule?
Yeah, absolutely positive, because what they're doing is they're taking characters you can't farm but aren't new releases and letting us have an opportunity at them, whether it's Shatterstar or Iceman. I think that's very positive. Particularly with Shatterstar, right? It's going to help people who are struggling on that Adam Warlock requirement. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I like this. And why don't they post this in their blog post though? They know the dates. They have these set. And it just goes back to the last question about these legendary events. I think it's just that frustration marketing that they're trying. Oh, who's the next Blitz? Oh, we need these shards for Iceman. How do we get these Iceman shards? Oh, wait, there's a Blitz. We could wait. We don't have to buy the offer. But if you know these, I guess they're like, less people are going to buy it. But it's out. Marvel knows it. It's out there right now. So plan, guys. Do your planning. All right. One big change that happened. Misty Knight. And it's a huge change. Added to Ultimates, Basic, Premium Mode, Mega Orb, Supply Section. Psylocke is out. What do you think of this? I mean, is this a very highly coveted character? Should people be running to their premiums to open them right now, opening up their megas that they've been saving just for Misty Knight now this is being added, or is this a skippable team?
Yeah, unless you're a super endgame player, this is just absolutely a skippable team. And I'm somebody I don't like the term skippable, but what I will say is this. I mean, unless you're done, you've been done with DD4 for many months and you are some sort of, end game super war focused player, why you'd want to build a war defense team that isn't very useful outside of war defense, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this Hero for Hire team. In my opinion, it has made war a major negative. I know some people it's made it more fun. For me, it's not fun. I don't know how to counter those huge teams, and it's not fun. Has Heroes for Hire overall improved war for you at the high levels like that?
No, I mean one thing that people don't all realize, I think, is that this team scales to an insane level. So when you see like an 800K Heroes for Hire team, you can get to a point where it just can be unbeatable in the right circumstances. Like if there's defense down on the room and they throw Kestrel as the last member and your armory is down and your hangar is down, you're basically throwing 30 teams at this, trying to get some RNG to kill one character. Like, can you get the Kestrel down so then you can finally work on the 4 characters? It's totally unfun and silly, and people wonder why I've gotten salty a little lately. It's stuff like that.
Real-time arena, Heroes for Hire, all that stuff, all compounded in a very short time frame. I agree. For me, I don't even throw the teams. My alliance doesn't throw those teams. We're just like, we're not beating that. That's lock. It's a lock. It's not a puzzle, which I don't enjoy. I enjoy puzzles. I like trying to solve puzzles. I don't enjoy unsolvable puzzles, and those high-level Heroes for Hire are not solvable, at least for me at my level. Let me talk to you about Loki. We were talking about Loki. It has dropped today. I have not watched it yet. Have you watched Loki yet?
I have not. Now I will try to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. I watch WandaVision. Like, I'm hyped about this.
All right. What do you expect for the Loki series as it comes out? What are expectations for you as it relates to the MCU? And other than the President Loki costume, what do you think, if any, is going to happen as a result in Marvel Strike Force as a result of this series?
Wow. I'm hoping we're going to get some new characters. I mean, I got to tell you, it's not like I'm anti-comic book, but I'm a guy who kind of got into the Marvel universe more through the TV shows and the movies and all of that. Same here. You're not alone, brother. Yeah. And so seeing the characters from I'm so hyped about, maybe we'll have Captain Sam, right? From, or something, yes. to have some of these Loki characters would be awesome in the game. And what do I expect from the series? It's going to be more out there. I mean, anybody who's seen the trailer trailer. I don't want to give anything away, but I'll just say that anyone who's seen the trailer knows this is going to be a little bit more unusual, which is fun. I mean, WandaVision was out there, and I had fun with that.
I like. Which would you like better, WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I actually think I liked WandaVision better in the end, even though I'm a Falcon fan.
Well. Yeah, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, a lot of action. The WandaVision, I felt that one a little more. It wasn't as action driven, but I was like, ooh, I was emotional after that one. The Falcon and Winter Soldier, like, that was a good show. That was an awesome show, but I didn't have that emotion like I did with the other one. Where do you think this falls? Do you think this is somewhere in the middle? Do you think this is a top WandaVision for you? Or do you think this is not as far as what you know from the trailer? Obviously you haven't seen it, but where are you expecting your enjoyment level of this Loki series?
I think it's going to be in the middle. And what it reminds me of in concept is like how Doctor Strange was, the movie, where I had watched all the previous Marvel ones and I'm like, okay, this is different. Like there's a bunch of magicians or something, like a bunch of wizards or whatever. It was like totally different. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I think it's gonna be like that. Like you're like, wow, okay, that happened. Like what's going on here? I think it's cool. Look, I like the guy who plays Loki. I think he's a really good actor. And I think it's good that even though they kind of rebrought the character back in a way, I think it's a cool concept. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward. My family's gonna watch it tonight, so yes, I'm super looking forward to it. And all right, the final topic. This is a video that you put out yesterday about changes to Alliance War. And this has been teased in blog posts in the past in the early 2021 roadmap. They've been talking about doing changes to Alliance War for a long time. And which is why it's very disappointing. Heroes for Hire came around because I thought this will be the changes, but I was like, oh, we got this war defense. They're doing that now. All right, so I don't know if you could share where did these rumors come from, or sure. tell me about these rumors. I'll leave it a little open for you.
No, it's fine. I'm very careful about what I put out there, and this is actually directly from the devs to my alliance. So as you pointed out earlier, I'm in a large, very diamond alliance or whatever. They came to us and they said, we want you to test these changes. This is exactly what the devs told my alliance that they're going to change. So I signed up for a playtest, so I know it's real. I actually inputted my information and all of that. Here's what NDA, they are.
No NDA.
Not yet.
So we can talk about everything. Nice. I love it.
Okay. Yeah. So no, you know what I know, because I literally just copy pasted from our Discord and put it into here. So this is exactly what they say. So 10 war defense rooms instead of 8. I mean, to me, that just means now you have to build up more characters, right? I mean, for a newer player, not like you and I who got wide rosters, but let's say you're a new player. Like right now, it's kind of nice that even though there's 168, 170, whatever characters in the game, that you only really need 40 on defense and whatever you need on offense, 45, 50 on offense. I think it ups the requirements a little bit with that one.
All right, and what changes did you notice as a result of this? Did it make your attacks a lot less effective because you had to put more of your characters on war defense, less hybrid teams? What big effect did you notice from these 10 war defense rooms?
So we have not started the playtest yet, which is why I can talk about it. So I haven't signed the NDA yet. What I expect is going to happen is exactly what you suggest. Less hybrid teams, which I think is fun. I like the hybrid thing. I think it's kind of creates some variety a little bit. And I just think, I think I have to build more teams, which doesn't affect me as much, but it affects a lot of players. So
it definitely will. I mean, maybe there might be more of those default shield teams in some of the rooms that you're saying.
No doubt.
More war attacks. Are they thinking more like speeding up the timers? So you're getting more attacks in an hour. I mean, I don't know how to describe the question. Are they speeding up the cooldown timer so you get more attacks, or you're starting off with more energy, or are they expanding the energy from 5 to something else? What do they mean by more war attacks?
I don't know. And what I know from looking at this slide I made, I would just say that what I'm worried about is that it's going to be like buy more attacks, right? This is like a money grab. Like, hey, now you've got.
Of course it is. You're definitely right.
Core your arena store or whatever, or
core your way to success in war.
Core your way to Blitz store to get more and more and more attacks. Or buy the pack of shame or whatever. I gotta say, I'm hoping all it is like they're like, well, you have 10 teams, so we got to give you more attacks to beat the teams. But even then, I got to tell you this, and I've said this to the devs directly. I really believe that this game is a little too much of a time suck. And I don't mind the fact that when you put more time, you succeed more. But they need to have it where it's not at specific times of day. Like if you got a family or a job, you may not be able to be there for your war attack or whatever. And I just think having more stuff for us to do is the wrong direction.
Yeah, I mean, or just more stuff at specific times, because Blitz, you're on the timer. War, it always starts the same way in your alliance, depending what region you're in, and you're always having that full clear mark at that 13-hour mark. I guess before the heroes for hire, but yeah. So this, but I do like this last line: more attacks per room. That's one of my problems. A lot of time I'm logging in a war. All 4 attacks are going to the same room, but that's the only room marked. So I'm like, all right, I'm waiting, or 2 attacks, or I'm waiting. And a lot of time I end up logging in, and everything's in battle. I'm just waiting. So I like it's going to open up either 3 attacks if you're only attacking one side, or 6 attacks. I think this will be a positive change as well. So what do you expect as a result of this? More. Is this kind of defeating it? You're getting more rooms, but you're getting more attacks. So is it still going to be a 13-hour mark when they're introducing both of these changes at the same time?
What's going to happen is it's going to be even more important to be there on time and get there early, because you can slam through the defenses much faster, right? So if one alliance is online at all, they can be doing 3 attacks at once. And by the time let's say you were busy at work, or your kid needed to go to the soccer game, you come home and you're like, oh crap, they're already through our armory, and we basically lost the war because I wasn't online. So I think this makes attacking 1.5 times as fast, right? It's 50% faster to go through and pull through the enemy team. And you also, right now, a lot of times people put their toughest team at the very end, so that this way you kind of have to save that one to the end. Now, I think you don't need to do that. Even if you want to keep one team up, you can, or 2 teams up, you can keep the other 2, right?
Oh, so it's not just for those last 3 slots. You could see the entire room. Is that what you're thinking this means?
Well, what I mean is, like, let's say you've attacked and you've got 3 teams left.
Yeah.
You can, if you want to leave it to 2 at the very end for your full clear.
It could actually be 3 now, right? With this. It doesn't need to be 2. It could be 3 on each side at this.
Wow.
With this,
okay,
right?
now you just blew my mind. Yes, you're right.
You're right. You guys gotta test this. You guys gotta test this and see what the actual effects are. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It could be bad. It could be bad. It could be good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a massive change. I got to tell you, I'm at the point I don't trust these guys. So we'll see what this. We'll see. Maybe that one is good.
A long time ago. With Scopely and Boundless as a whole, there's still certain people that I trust, but as a whole in the company, it went out a long time ago.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Seriously.
All right. Well, that is about it. I'm curious to see if you could still talk about these changes once you actually play a war, or when you'll be able to talk about these and see what the actual effects of these things are. It's hard to say. I mean, some of them look good on paper, but in actual game test playing, they might be negative, and reverse for some of these other ones that not as excited about. Any final thoughts on Marvel Strike Force's direction this game is going, or anything else, brother?
Well, look, man, when I started playing this game, I did not expect to love the game this much and get this into it. I love this game. Not happy with the direction lately, and I'm just hoping, for the sake of everybody, that we get it on a better direction, so you and I can make the positive videos that we're always. I loved making
those. I miss those. Come on,
Amen.
Give me something. Let's bring these positive videos back. So hopefully Cerebral gets listened to. Hopefully the community gets listened to, and hopefully there's positive changes coming. But as of now, we don't know. But let everybody know where they can find you, my brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I got a YouTube channel, a Twitch stream, and a Discord. You can. I'm sure you'll be able to find those links. Maybe they'll be down below, guys. Just click on all those links. Make sure you subscribe and go to his Twitch, join his Discord, all that stuff, guys. Well, that's great. Yeah, definitely. And I always love watching your channel, Valley.
Oh, thank you, man. And for great advice and war and all these the high level things that you're going to be doing in the future. Philosopher, that's the place to go for all that stuff. So thank you, brother. Once again, it is always a pleasure talking to you. One day I will see your face, we'll get you in studio. All right, but hold your fist up. Give me a fist bump before you go, guys. Have a great rest of your day. ValleyFlyin and Philosopher out. That was fun.
Yeah, man, it's always great doing videos with you. You're a great guy. You're a lot of fun. We're a little saltier today, but you know, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not undeserved salt, and the salt comes from a place of love and wanting some positive change to come to this game. So hopefully we get listened to. And